Victor Wembanyama is certainly not the best shooter we've seen in basketball history, at least not yet. However, he remains one of the most promising young stars of his generation. He has had an excellent season so far, and the big man has proven once again how good he is by recording a career high in blocks in a big road win. Keep watching this video to get the full scoop. Bologna-Levallois defeated Paris Basketball, an opponent from the Euro Cup, 91-71 on the road despite Victor Wembanyama having one of his lowest scoring games and worst shooting nights this season. Despite playing a season-high 23 minutes and 13 seconds, Wembanyama was only able to muster 11 points. This was his second lowest scoring output of the season, behind only round 2's 10. Nonetheless, he was a key contributor in defense, helping his side secure arguably their biggest road win of the season. Wembanyama tangled with another French NBA prospect, Ismail Kamagate, who scored 8 points and grabbed 7 rebounds. Top NBA players with the most blocks in an NBA game. The defense may not get as much attention as slam dunks or three-pointers, but it's still a vital component of every NBA championship squad. As a result, effective blockers are highly valued by the top teams in the league. And while the ability to steal and grab offensive boards is crucial, the timing on a block is spectacular. Care to find out which defensive players recorded the most blocks in a single game? Then keep watching this video. Just how crucial are blocks in a game of basketball? Some of the most important statistics in basketball include blocks, but they are often neglected. However, there is no denying their significance. Getting even one or two against skilled players is extremely challenging, especially in today's NBA, which places a premium on three-point shooting. And if your team's defense gives up more points than they score, it won't matter how many threes your top shooter makes. For this reason, shot blockers are just as crucial to a team's success as the top scorers. Now, let's take a look at the players with the most blocks in a single NBA game. Number 5, Andrew Bynum, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Mark Eaton, 10 blocks. In the NBA's long history, there have been a number of games in which 10 or more blocks were recorded. The fact that the aforementioned guys all had double-digit game totals in the playoffs is what truly sets them apart. Only Bynum, Eaton, and Olajuwon have ever had double-digit blocks in a playoff game. Each of them succeeded with 10. Bynum's happened in 2012 during the Lakers' journey to the finals. Hakeem's came in 1990, and Eaton's came in 1985. In spite of the fact that they didn't record the most blocks in a game, the three should be commended for their outstanding defensive play. Number 4, Mark Eaton, 14 blocks. The vast majority of the players on this list are well-known names in the NBA. Contrarily, Mark Eaton is not in this category. This fact, however, does not diminish the significance of his accomplishments. The 7'4" center enjoyed a productive 12-year run with the Jazz. He blocked 14 shots in 2 games during that span. His 2 dominant performances, combined with his uncanny ability to anticipate shots, place him among the elite of shot blockers. To this day, only 3 other players can say they've denied shooters more times. Number 3, Manute Bol, 15 blocks. In contrast to Shaq's offensive prowess, the only other player in NBA history to record 15 blocks in a game was a defensive stalwart by the name of Manute Bol. Bol, with his 7'7" stature and incredible reach, was a pure defender who lasted 12 years in the NBA. The big guy finished his career with over 2,000 blocks, putting him in the top 20 all-time shot blockers. However, his 1985 and 1987 campaigns were his most successful in that regard. He blocked 15 shots across 2 games, cementing his place as a defensive legend. Nute is one of only 2 other players to ever achieve this feat, and neither of them were able to do it again. Number 2, Shaquille O'Neal, 15 blocks. The prevalence of blocks peaked in the 1970s and 1980s and has since been on the decline. Because of this, Shaq's performance during the early 1990s is considered one of the greatest defensive efforts by a single player in NBA history. As one of the all-time best centers in the NBA, the big man has earned a plethora of accolades and notoriety, but surprisingly, his defense wasn't one of them. He had the ability to slam someone to the floor, make them a poster, or run them over, but his lane closing ability wasn't something that many of his supporters saw often. However, on the 20th of November 1993, he blocked 15 shots while playing against the Nets. He scored 24 points and grabbed 28 rebounds, good for second all-time. By any measure, this was a resoundingly triumphant evening for Shaq. Number 1, Elmore Smith, 17 blocks. A lot of spectacular defensive efforts have happened in the NBA, but Elmore Smith's block party against the Trailblazers in 1973 stands out in a truly remarkable way. During the game, he made an astonishing 17 defensive stops, which is still a record to this day. The 7-foot player, also known as the Rejector, put on a defensive clinic that night. He blocked every shot that was even remotely remotely directed at the goal, delivering a performance that has never been matched. It was a banner year for the big man, who had 4 games with 10 or more blocks. As a matter of fact, earlier that year he blocked a record-setting 14 shots against the Pistons. That record would only hold for 2 days before Elmore set a new one. True, blocks don't always make the highlight reel, but it's still incredible when somebody manages to write their name into the annals of history. Everyone on this list has a reputation for being a stout defender in the paint, and they have made their living by blocking shots at an unprecedented rate. The concentration on three-point shooting has led to a decline in blocks in recent years, but a huge rejection still has its thrills. Even if none of the aforementioned records are broken, the league is always susceptible to the introduction of a game-changing superstar at any time. Best NBA landing spots for French phenom Victor Wembanyama. According to several analysts, Victor Wembanyama is the most exciting young basketball player to come along since LeBron James in 2003. The 18-year-old French prodigy has all the makings of an NBA All-Star, thanks to his towering stature, adaptability, shooting prowess, and ability to create opportunities for his teammates. Surely most NBA teams will want him, but certainly not all teams are created equal. Although whichever team gets Wembanyama in the 2023 NBA Draft will undoubtedly undergo a shift, and some teams would reach their success earlier owing to their lineups or assets. That being said, which NBA team would be the best destination for Victor Wembanyama? Would Oklahoma City Thunder be a good fit for Wembanyama? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is averaging 30.8 PPG, 5.8 APG, and the Oklahoma City Thunder could play their way out of the first overall pick if they keep up their current level of play. If OKC does not win the Wembanyama lottery, it will have plenty of opportunities to retaliate in future NBA drafts through 2029. Sam Presti, general manager of the Thunder, has done an excellent job of accumulating assets and young players, but has failed to trade his draft collection for a significant impact. If Oklahoma City is unable to select Wembanyama in the draft, then expect Presti to make a Godfather-style bid to acquire the phenom. Gilgeous-Alexander, also 6'6", and Josh Giddey, also 6'8", form Oklahoma City's potential backcourt. OKC's young core, which includes 7'2" forward Chet Holmgren, possesses exceptional length and versatility. By bringing in Wembanyama, the Thunder might be better positioned to make the playoffs right away. The second overall pick from the previous year's draft, Holmgren, possesses similar guard skills to those of Wembanyama. The Thunder might have a dynamic pair on their hands with Holmgren and Wembanyama in the lineup, as the two players bring complementary qualities to the table. Is it possible for Wembanyama to join the Orlando Magic? What are the odds that Orlando gets lucky again? The team appears to have hit the lottery again after selecting forward Paolo Banchero with the first overall pick in last year's draft. The Magic are currently getting an all-star performance from their 20-year-old guard, who is averaging 20.9 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 3.9 assists per game. Aside from Banchero, Orlando's young core also features some promising players. 6'10" forward Franz Wagner averages 19.9 points per game, and with Banchero and Wembanyama, he'd form one of the league's most potent front lines in terms of points scored. The young supporting cast members Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Wendell Carter, and Bol have all impressed. Jonathan Isaac, a 6'10" defensive-minded forward who has missed the past 2 seasons due to an ACL tear, is another fascinating piece. If Wembanyama is added to this core, Orlando has a chance to become a playoff team and contender in the Eastern Conference. How about the New Orleans Pelicans? Favorable for Wembanyama? The current third season in the Western Conference is the best possible landing location for Wembanyama. The Pelicans, despite their track record, have a good opportunity to sign him. As a result of the 2019 trade that brought Anthony Davis to the Lakers, New Orleans now has the unprotected rights to the Lakers' 2023 first-round choice. Pelicans point guard Zion Williamson is a former generational prospect and now one of the best players in the NBA. He averages 26 points per game, and it would be difficult to defend against one of the most dangerous duos in league history if he were paired with Wembanyama. If the Pelicans sign Wembanyama, they could push Jonas Valanciunas to the bench, which would further add to the excellent depth they've collected. Once the dust settles, the Davis trade could have been the most intriguing move in NBA history, but New Orleans might establish an instant dynasty with Wembanyama added to the fold. So guys, which NBA team do you think will acquire the services of Victor Wembanyama in the 2023 draft? Kindly let us have your thoughts in the comment section. And if you enjoyed watching this video, it'll be great if you give it a like and share. And also make sure you subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell to keep getting more interesting content like this. See you next time!